Welcome to Self-Publishers Collective. For the month of May, our workshop is about book elements. Come join us. Hi, my name is Michelle Williams. I'm with Self-Publishers Collective. We meet monthly on the second Thursday at 7 p.m. either in Room A or Room B of Vossler Memorial Library. We also simulcast on Zoom, so reach out to us if you're interested in attending online and we'll send you the Zoom link. Upcoming meetings in June, we're going to have author Tom Kelchner, who has an amazing legacy cookbook from his wife's great-grandmother and other ancestors and their recipes of Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. So join us if you're able to in person. If you can't attend in person, we will have a Zoom link to attend online and hope that you take away some of the recipes and the stories that Tom's going to share with us on his self-publishing journey. In July, we're going to talk about Beyond the Book, and that is your book being the calling card for other things in your life, whether it's speaking at conferences or working with community groups to educate children, whatever it might be. We're going to talk through different things like podcasts and interviews, whether you're fiction or nonfiction, and what groups you can tap into to be able to create new revenue stream for yourself and to spread the stories that you love to share. This month is about book elements, how to capture your reader using different components of your book. Let's talk about what captures you as the reader. It is the book cover and the back cover. If you're ever in a bookstore, I always flip on the back side of a book just to see if there's any nuggets that an author has left, whether it's quotes or an excerpt from the story. It's always exciting to look at the back cover. Reviews, we all go online to see whether or not something is worth our time and money, so we're going to look at book reviews, and also the description. The description for you as a self-publishing author has multiple uses and can be seen in multiple places. Number one, online, as readers are scrolling through to understand what your book is all about. So we'll talk about descriptions, and that will be our activity for this workshop. Book cover design needs to be very focused and intentional. You need to make sure that it is within the genre in which you're writing and that the expectations are there for what a book cover is supposed to look like. Whether it's a business book where you have geometric shapes or pens or typewriters, to a fiction story, a romance novel where you see a young couple together. Either way, you need to let readers see that you fit into that genre, and that starts with your book cover. Color complements. Researching what colors resonate emotions and what you're trying to convey in your message. So dig down into what colors would look good on your book cover and what complements the story or the content that you're writing about. And then paint a picture. Your book cover is going to be a snapshot idea or image that helps your reader understand exactly what you're writing about. Whether it's business or fiction, nonfiction, arts and crafts, whatever it might be, or a cookbook, that cover complements and make sure that the reader understands what the content is all about. And fonts matter. Sometimes people love to get fancy with script. Well, that's good for some romance novels, but it might not be good if you're writing a children's book or a business book or a book on murder mystery. So just be careful about the fonts that you use and make sure that they translate well into your book cover. And then the thumbnail. The thumbnail is what everybody's going to see on Amazon. They're going to shop through their phones and their iPads and their laptops. They want to see what the cover looks like. You need to make sure that what looks great on a 6x9 or a 7x10 is also looking good as a thumbnail. And remember, your ebook is different dimensions. It will use a different book cover than your paperback or your hardcover book. So make sure that whatever design you're using can translate into that. If you decide to do an audiobook, again, it will be even different than the ebook or the paperback or hardback cover. So make sure that each design that you use can be translated in several versions of sizing. And then finally, test. If you do the book cover yourself or you have someone that you pay to do it, make sure that you get opinions on it. You can get a dedicated group of readers or even just post it on Facebook or other social media platforms where you can take a poll and find out which one works best for your book. Doing it yourself requires a little bit of tech savvy and some imagination and understanding of how a book design needs to come together. You can use software like Microsoft Office components. That includes Publisher, Microsoft Word. You can use Adobe Suite and different components from Adobe, or you can use DIY book covers. You can use Canva. There's any number of platforms out there that are free or purchased that you can use to design your book cover. You can get some ideas on Pinterest, or just go out to Amazon and look within your genre and find out what everybody else is doing. You don't have to copy, and you shouldn't copy, but you need to make sure that it's looking very similar to the genre in which you are writing. There are templates available if you choose to do Amazon self-publishing, which is called KDP. You can go out to kdp.com, and once you know what size your book needs to be and how many pages are in the interior, you can download a template that will allow you to design based on their measurements and bleed and margins. Same thing with Ingram Spark. If you choose to self-publish on there, you will also have to understand what book size, the number of pages in your book, and they also provide a template for you to build your book cover design around those measurements that are required. Make sure that you pay attention to the details, the photos, the drawings, if they are not your own. There are free websites out there where you have access to common use artwork, photography, and drawings, but I would recommend that you contact the creator of that content to let them know what you're using that for. It's nice to give them a donation or something to recognize them, give them credit for it in your credits within your book to make sure people know who the artist is or who the photographer is that you're using. If you want to use your own, you're welcome to do that, and just cite yourself as the photographer or the art designer. And on your book cover, make sure that you know where your photos are going to go, your font placement, the title. If you're going to put anything extra on there, like a quote from somebody who has read your book in advance, just make sure you have the layout structured in a way and within the template guidelines that you have downloaded for your self-publishing platform to make sure that everything looks good. And then squeeze it down into a little tiny thumbnail, and that's going to show you what it's going to look like on Amazon, on the web, if somebody's browsing from their phone. If you choose to hire someone and you're not tech savvy and you're not artistic, but you have somebody who is a graphic designer who understands book cover construction, how it's built, you also need to be involved in the process. You can give them the information about your main idea and just tell them to run with it, or you can have an idea of what colors you'd love to use, but be open to their suggestions. If they are professional book cover designers, they understand the market, they understand what readers are looking for, and it would be wise to take their advice. Book cover designers do cost more than getting somebody who's maybe an art student to do it for you, or a graphic design student. You can still do that, and if you have someone in your family or someone that you trust and know to get that done for you. But if you do hire a professional book designer, please know that they do have a price. They'll tell you the price up front, and make sure you read your contract. That contract is going to should give you a timing, how many variations of the book cover they may offer, and if there are any edits after those book covers are designed, if there's any edits, if there's an extra fee for that. So just make sure you read your contract, that you are in full communication with the person who is designing your book cover, and make sure that it is exactly what you're looking for, because you ultimately are the customer and are paying for that product. The back cover is part of the book cover design, so if you are hiring someone to do a professional book cover for you, they will do the front cover, the spine, and the back cover, and make sure that you have all the elements that you want on that back cover to grab your reader. Usually it is a short book description or quotes from beta readers who may have read your book in advance, or experts. Say you're writing a business book about leadership and you get somebody who is an influencer or someone who is well versed in the leadership industry and training, and you get them to do a quote for you. You could include that in your back cover design. Also about the author, you want a good picture of yourself and make sure it's a high quality picture and it represents you very well. You will always on the back cover have to make sure you have room for a barcode, but normally if you're using Ingram Sparks or Amazon KDP, it will show you where that barcode is going to be placed. So you should be able to crop out a certain spot on the back cover for that. And then if you get reviews in advance, this is something that's very good to have on hand for people who are ready to give reviews. When you finally launch your book, have a little quote on either the front cover or back cover or both, or a quote on the inside where readers have read it in advance and they're offering something for your potential readers to grab onto. The people who want to spend money and take the time to read your book, they want to hear from other readers to make sure it's worth their time and it's actually what they're expecting to read. So let's talk about reviews. Reviews are very important for your book, but did you know that you could get them before you even publish? If you have a trusted, and I say this earnestly, trusted set of beta readers who are not going to disclose your content, make sure your beta readers are a group of people who will offer valuable content, feedback, and reviews for your final piece of work. You can go out and get genre experts to comment on your book, but there are industry experts out there who might be willing to offer and lend their voice to your book before it's even published. Super readers, if you go out on Goodreads, you will see that network community of super readers who love to read voraciously. Also, influencers, people who are book reviewers can also be influencers in their genre. Just make sure that people who have a voice in the genre in which you are writing, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, that you know who those people are, and you can, it doesn't hurt to ask. They can always say no, but if you don't ask the question, the answer is 100% no. So it doesn't hurt to ask. Just ask if they would be willing to read your book in advance. You can give them an advance copy to look at, and they can come back to you with a quote or a review or recommendation or content. And then your readers. Your readers are going to be excited to see your next piece of work. The best thing you can do for your readers is to keep writing, keep creating content for them, and they're going to be very excited to read your next work. They are the ones who are going to put the reviews out on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. If you go through Ingram Spark, they're going to be the ones to be first in line to say, this is 5 stars, this is 4.5 stars, this is a terrific book. I've read 3 of theirs already and I'm ready for more. So just tap into your reader baseline, those people who are your super fans, and make sure that you get their reviews and have them out there when you launch your book. Now let's get to the description. The description is usually the first 5 sentences of what your book is about. Now, when you're on Amazon, as we saw last time, and you can go back and look at our exercise on keywords, if you look at the description is the first 5 sentences. And that's all you see until you click more or read more. It's a little button below, but you have that preview of the first 5 sentences. Why not make best use of that space and your reader's time? Within those 5 sentences, you want to have a hook, something that sparks their interest. So a hook in there, if people are, murder mystery buffs, cooking enthusiasts, people who love children's books, whatever it might be, make sure that you are capturing their attention in those first 5 sentences. On your back cover, you can include a shorter, smaller version of your full book description that people will see when they purchase it. And it can just be a snippet or a quote from your book. You can talk about it and then add a little excerpt from it. And that can be on your back cover as a little teaser for someone to purchase your book to read. And then remember that there's a preview on the web. If you want to include things inside your book other than your book cover, there's a way to do that on Amazon and to be able to do a table of contents or show the first few pages of chapter 1 or the introduction or the prologue. You can have all of that available, and we'll have some technical videos to explain how to do that when you are ready to publish your book. It is separate from the KDP setup. It is something that you have to set up as the author, as part of Amazon's marketplace, to be able to upload a portion or a file that shows a portion of your book, and they will allow that to be a preview for you. And we're at the workshop session. We do this every month on months that we don't have a speaker. Come join us in person person if you are interested. Part of the workshop is doing an exercise. So this month our exercise is writing that book description. So last time, if you want to look at the previous video, we did keywords, and keywords, we did writing exercise for about 5 minutes, and we listed keywords or key phrases that pointed back to the main topic or content in which we were writing. So using the keywords from last time, if you haven't done it, I suggest that you go ahead and do the keyword exercise and then come back and do the description. We wrote for 5 minutes, and people came up with the most amazing descriptions. In the first 5 sentences, you understood very clearly what the writer was trying to convey and what content they are writing about. Out of that description, you can have a 1 or 2 liner, quote unquote, your elevator pitch. If you're in the bookstore or you're in a book fair or you're just at the grocery store, you can easily talk about what your book is about. People want very short, quick bites of information. If you can do this in about 5 to 10 seconds, that will hook them. So out of your description, if you can get a very short hook to be able to tell the reader exactly what your content is about, you're going to capture their attention, and either they're going to be interested or they're not. And if they are, they're going to want to know more. And that's where your longer, fuller description can come in and help fill in the blanks for them. In this exercise, create a 5-sentence description and do a 2-paragraph short summary that you can put on the back or inside of the book cover, and a longer description for the website. Part of this is making sure that you practice this in this elevator pitch, this pitch where you are hooking a reader in, that you are well versed and well spoken in what your genre is about and what your content is about. Readers are going to appreciate that you are polished and professional and you are confident in the book content that you're offering. We look forward to seeing you in one of our upcoming meetings or workshops. If you want more information about Self-Publishers Collective, you can find us online at www.selfpublisherscollective.com, or you can reach out through Bosler Memorial Library. Subscribe to the Bosler YouTube channel with notifications on for upcoming courses.